I have said man does not live by meat alone. This one just might change my mind.
City Steading.
Hi, I'm Brian.
I'm Derica, and you're watching City Steading. Today we're going to bottle and taste the Capsicumel.
Hopefully we're done with it. Okay, so if you watched the last video, you know that we back sweetened this, okay? Now, a lot of people have been asking for a back sweetening video, and I've been putting it off because there just didn't seem like a lot of information. Now, what we did in that video was one way to back sweeten. There's several ways. We only really talked about the one way that we did. And my fear is that, well, not fear, but my concern was that it's possible it restarted a fermentation. Now, in the first couple of days, I would have thought, yeah, it might have, but I'm not so sure. It's been about 2 weeks since we did that. I know I said 1 week, but it's been 2. So what we're going to do today is we're going to rack it, we're going to give it a hydrometer reading, and then we're going to bottle it as long as it's done. We're also going to taste it, so we'll let you know how it turned out all the way in the end. So what do we always do when we're getting ready to bottle and rack and taste and test stuff? We throw everything into
the red bucket of sanitization!
I'm starting to get a little cringy on that. Anyway, everything came out of this Star San solution. Let me say that again. So we put everything into the red bucket of sanitization. We used Star San and warm water, let it all sit in there for a little bit, drain it off. It's all coming out here. We have some bottles here that are ready to go. They've all been sanitized. The pitcher's been sanitized. The paint can of Elevation has not been sanitized, but it's just going to hold the jar up. The reason why we use that is just because it's really easy for on camera so you can see. The idea is you want to have that jar raised up a little bit higher so that the siphoning actually works. Alright, so the first thing we want to do is rack it. So we're going to rack this.
You may, if you are clever and observant, notice there's no airlock on this.
Yeah, we ran out of...
That's because we ran out of lids and we had to borrow this one. So this has only been on here just
a
couple
hours.
minutes. Or hour, yeah.
Couple hours. Not enough for it to explode. Plus, I think it's still at this point. Okay, so just like we always do, we take our sanitized auto siphon. Notice it has the little cap. I'm going to put it about halfway down. I don't think there's a lot of sediment in here, but I still don't want to incur the wrath of the sediment. So I'm going to do that. We're going to just drop it all the way. Derica's going to hold it because she likes to do that. And while that's coming out, I'm going to smell it. It smells pretty good. As you get close to the bottom, I like to tip it up and I'll hold the pitcher down even lower just to try to get it all, and that is the sound of done. There's the tiniest amount of sediment in the bottom of that jar. We lost an ounce, maybe 2 ounces. I don't worry about it, okay? I know some people will resettle that and pull more out. Okay, you know what, I'll just make more. I hate to waste, but at the same token, least is bitter. Alright, as we like to do, we're going to take a reading, and that means getting out the oldie turkey baster and trying to get liquid into here without causing too much oxidization. I'm probably going to degas as well, though I don't think this is even slightly carbonated anymore. And last time we got to 1070 with the back sweetening. So let's see if that has changed at all. Ah, perfect. 1070. It has not fermented anymore at all. That was my hope, but you never know. So what that means is this is now done. It's not going to ferment anymore. If we wanted to back sweeten it further, we totally could, because there's no more fear of fermentation at this point, okay? We know we're past the limit of the yeast. So, yes.
Yep, that's what I was going to suggest.
Yeah, she's worried about me knocking it over. So we're going to pour off a little bit of a sample here. Set that aside for in a few minutes. Because what we're going to do now is very carefully put that back in. Not like that. Don't do that. Pour it more carefully than I did. And now we're going to start the bottling process. Actually, I'm going to degas it a little bit first, just to see if there's any any carbonation in there. Looks like there might be a little bit. And to degas, there's a lot of ways to do this, okay? I use the most basic backwoods style of degassing. I literally just stir it. And you can smell it. The gases are coming off of it. Now, this didn't have a lot of bad gas taste last time. It actually tasted quite wonderful. I'm glad to see this bit of off-gassing, though. That means that even though I had a good amount of headspace in there, you know, more than I wanted, good amount, like too much, I think it was safe because I had this carbonation in here that was off-gassing the whole time. Okay, so I degassed as much as I care to. I don't get crazy about degassing. It's good to get it out of there because we've had a couple very recently that popped their corks out of the bottles, and you wonder what the heck was that? You know, it's not good. If you don't catch it right away, it could be, you know, you could oxidize. So it's a good idea to do it. However, just like everything in homebrew, do it to your comfort level. I mean, I don't like to stand there and degas for 20 minutes or a half an hour, you know, so.
He did degas this one a little bit longer because the foam buildup was substantial, so that told us that there was some stuff in there that needed to come out. If you whisk it up really good and there is no foam buildup, then you probably don't have a lot of gas in there that needs to come out, so you're pretty much done.
I'm also putting these in swing tops, not corks. So worst case, it'll be slightly petulant. Petulant means slightly carbonated. Oh yeah, I need the bottling wand. I hate this thing. It's a pain. And it falls out at inopportune times. Can you hold on to that for me, please? But it does just fit right on the end of your auto siphon. Just jam it on there, probably a little bit more than you really want to so it doesn't fall off on you. See, it's got this little wiggler thing on the end there that when it's out like that, the flow won't come through. When it goes up, it flows through. So that way, when you put this into the bottom of a bottle, you know, it's out like that, but as soon as it hits the bottom, it goes like that, so the flow comes in, and as you lift up, it stops. When using a bottling wand, you want to be sure that you put this end in the bottle first, because if you don't, that little stoppy thing will be stopped, and it won't flow. Always want to make sure that your bottle is lower than the area that you are siphoning from, otherwise, again, liquid won't flow. And I like to just check. This is not a spring-loaded wand. They do make them, and those are cool. I want one. And what I do is I wait till it gets up to about here in the neck because the wand itself takes up a little bit of space. And we're doing this at a relatively low height on purpose. That way it's nice and slow going in. If I put this bottle under the table, it would fill up in just seconds. And it would be far too quick to try to respond to.
He speaks from experience.
I've done this before, people. I had a bad experience. I used to do this sitting in the chair with the bottle between my legs, and I would just hold everything myself. Yeah, well, one time, let's just say, I sat in more than got in the bottle. It was a less than pleasant time for me. I don't really want to talk about it anymore. Have your next bottle ready as you approach the danger zone, which is right about there. Ta-da! If you're curious, yes, these are Aldi lemonade bottles. They, I call them the lemonade bottles, although I buy the bottles. The lemonade just happens to come in them for free. That joke never gets old. And yeah, we're all fancy around here. We leave the labels on half the time. You know why? This stuff isn't going to last long enough to be worth the trouble to take the labels off. Have I mentioned this is my favorite mead so far? If I haven't, this is my favorite mead so far. I'm just going to fill the rest of these bottles. We'll see in a couple minutes. So, here's something you should never do at home. This is only a half bottle. I'm drinking this tonight. I'm not so worried about oxidation. But there's a couple of sips in there that I don't want to waste. So, here we go. I don't want to waste them. So what am I doing? Pouring it the hard way. Takes a very steady hand. You all thought I was going to spill it all over the place, didn't you?
I did.
One cut, right there. Alright, so we got about 3.5 bottles out of that. And a half a glass that we're going to share.
Now we had no expectation on clarity on this beverage, just because of the products that were used.
It doesn't go clear. It just doesn't. It's not going to go clear. That's as clear as you're going to get. And you know what? It's okay. Somebody's going to ask, should I put pectinase in there? No!
No.
It's gonna taste the same. It's okay. You can use finings if you really want to, but why? Don't worry about it. It's supposed to taste good.
I actually like it this way.
It has a nice color.
Because this is something different. It's a Capsicumel. I mean, it's a jalapeno mead.
This is the king of meads.
So with the murkiness, for lack of a better term, you can really see the tinge of green from the pepper in the predominantly yellow beverage. And to me, that's appealing. I know to most people it's probably not, but to me it's appealing, and it says visually what it is. But you don't even have to look at it. You can just close your eyes and take a big whiff, and you're like, oh, that's pretty cool.
The smell is incredible.
Now, Brian likes this a lot more than I do, but
that's why there's one glass.
I have a strong appreciation for it because, I mean, you smell that.
I'm not really smelling alcohol, though I know this is like 13%.
There's no denying that there are peppers and there are honey in this beverage. There's no denying that.
This is a wonderful expression of those two things.
And so that aspect of it is really appealing to me.
But you know what? I'm tasting it. Oh, yeah.
You can tell he's happy because he does the little rock on his feet thing. You might not have been
I never
able
even noticed to do that.
see that from your angle, but I saw him doing it. I'm like,
oh, that's so good.
He's a happy
That
boy.
is definitely hotter than my last batch, but adding that back sweetening to it cooled it right down. It kicks you and then goes away. It's just really, really nice. It's very strong flavor of the jalapeno. And I can imagine if I smoked or roasted those jalapenos, it would be that much better. And I'm definitely going to try that sometime. I'm actually really liking the idea of combining this with tapachi, which is the fermented pineapple drink, and making a pineapple jalapeno capsicumel.
I have alluded, I think in the first video of this series of the Capsicumel
I'm using
series,
this as a mixer.
I was using it as a mixer in a cocktail, and my other primary ingredient was going to be pineapple juice. So that's kind of where Brian went with that concept.
But I'm thinking, you know what? I'm not going to give it away. It's another video. You're going to have to watch.
You'll have to stay tuned to find out more.
Anyway, if you like this video, give us a like. Consider subscribing. You know, when you do subscribe and you hit the bell icon, you get notified of all the videos that we make, and we put out videos every Tuesday and Friday now. We actually changed our schedule so that we can put out higher quality stuff for you. 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's all we got. But, hey guys, thanks for watching. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
See where we're at here. How do I look?
You look pretty good.
Oh, I know what to say. Are we ready? Okay. It's still rolling, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, if you're a member of our Facebook group, or if you read comments on our section, I've said, that's just far too frickin' long.
Yep.
All right. I'm filling those suckers good.
No, we're gonna get it!